Hello and welcome to This Week at Endicott. I'm Maya Gerard.
And I'm Maddie Fitzgerald. Let's see what's happening this week across campus.
On Wednesday at 5:30 p.m., it's Endicott's annual Safe Trick or Treat. The Community Service Office is looking for volunteers to help with setup and cleanup, as well as being road guides and hall greeters. Sign up through your Blue Buzz email. Also at 5:30 p.m., Industry Night presents Building a Career in Real Estate, taking place in the LSB Auditorium.
On Thursday at 4 p.m., Dr. Jean Wong, the Dean of Arts and Sciences, explains Endicott's new pre-med, pre-health professional program. This event is open to all students. Bring your questions to the LSB Auditorium. At 7 p.m., get into the homecoming spirit with DIY Endicott Spirit gear in Lower Callahan. Then at 9 p.m., it's 21 Plus Night in Gullies. Wear your most spirited Endicott gear and be entered in a chance to win a $50 gift card to the Endicott bookstore.
Start your weekend off right with some worthwhile volunteer work. At 9 a.m., the Community Giving Tree is looking for help to sort and organize donations to distribute to families in need in Middleton, Mass. At 3 p.m., Landmark Senior Living Happy Hour needs assistance with tasks that involve setup, engaging with residents during the entertainment, and cleanup. Then at 6:30 p.m., Northeast Arc Friday Night Happenings offers activities for individuals with developmental disabilities. Sign up to volunteer for any of these great opportunities through your Blue Buzz email.
This weekend is Endicott's Homecoming and Family Weekend. At 8 p.m. on Friday in the Fieldhouse, decorate a homecoming parade float and potentially win a catered dinner for your organization, team, residence hall floor, or group of friends. Sign up through your Blue Buzz email. Then at 9 p.m., CAB presents Homecoming Bingo in the Mistlewood tent. Bring your family or friends for a chance to win amazing prizes.
On Saturday, there is a silent auction in Lower Callahan from 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Prizes include a trip to Florida, signed sports memorabilia, ski passes, jewelry, an instant Halloween party package, and a Kate Spade bag. While you're in Callahan, stop by Endicott's famous brunch, starting at 10 a.m. Students may use one allocated meal to attend. However, guest meals may not be used. Then at 11 a.m., check out the Homecoming Float Parade taking place around campus.
Also on Saturday at 9 a.m., be a part of Habitat for Humanity Open Build and help in building affordable housing. At 10 a.m., take a day trip to Winslow Farm Animal Sanctuary. Transportation provided by Outdoor Adventure Club on a first-come, first-served basis. Limited spots available. Then at 11 a.m., Coast Sweep is looking for volunteers to help remove trash and debris from the designated cleanup site. Sign up for any of these events through your Blue Buzz email.
The fun on Saturday continues at 12:30 p.m. with family fun festivities around the lakes and in gullies. Enjoy favorite fall foods, live entertainment, photo buttons, sand art, face painting, and fall crafts. At 7 p.m., the Endicott Ensemble presents a Friends and Families concert in the Rose Performance Hall, while Gullies hosts a karaoke homecoming celebration at 8:30 p.m. Then top off your day with an ice cream sundae in Frady's Quad at 9:30 p.m.
Now let's send it over to sports with Lauren.
Hi, and welcome back to this edition of EC Sports. For ECTV, I'm Lauren LaCava. The football team fell to Salve Regina this past Saturday, 41-14. The Gulls fall to 1-6 this year, but they are back to take on Curry College this Saturday with kickoff at 12 p.m. at home for homecoming weekend. The men's soccer team beat Wentworth last week 2-1 with 2 goals from freshman Jamie Becker. On Saturday, they fell to UNE and wrapped up their final regular season game on Tuesday and look to the CCC quarterfinals on Thursday, where the time is to be determined. The women's soccer team went 2-0 on the weekend as they tackled UNE and Eastern Connecticut State University. Charlotte Pernice had a game-winning goal in the first overtime against ECSU. The first round of CCCs will take place on Saturday, time and place to be determined. The field hockey team won 2 games last week. Second-seeded Endicott will advance to the CCC semifinals on November 1st after concluding their regular season at Roger Williams on Friday. The women's volleyball team will host 2 matches this Saturday for homecoming weekend. Following 4 wins, they look to close out the season on a high note before the CCC tournament begins on the 31st. The women's tennis team lost a tough one last week in the CCC championship against Nichols, but will be back stronger than ever in the spring. Both men's and women's ice hockey will be back in action this weekend. The men face Salem State on Friday at 7 p.m. and the women face Southern Maine on Saturday with puck drop at 7 p.m. And that's all for This Week in Sports. For ECTV, I'm Lauren LaCava. Have a great homecoming and alumni weekend goals.
On Sunday at 10 a.m., enjoy coffee with the chaplain and a bagel breakfast with Hillel in the chapel. Then stop by Sunday Family Brunch in Callahan's Dining Hall starting at 10 a.m. Students may use one allocated meal to attend. Guest meals may not be used.
Here's Shake My Head with Riley and Lexi.
Hi, and welcome back to Shake My Head News, where we give you the most ridiculous news stories from around the world. I'm Riley Fitzgibbons.
And I'm Lexi Lozano. To begin this week, a Canadian man was stopped by police for singing in his car and slapped with a $150 ticket. The incident happened in St. Laurent, Quebec, when the man sang the 1990s hit Everybody Dance Now by CNC Music Factory, and the music was interrupted by police sirens. Quote, "I was thinking they wanted to pass, but they called on the speaker, 'Please go to the right side,' the man told reporters. I stopped and 4 police came, 2 on each side, and checked the inside of my car. Police then asked the man if he'd been screaming, and he said, 'No, I was just listening to my favorite song.' I repeated, 'Everybody dance now.' Police, though, determined that he had been screaming, which is a violation in Quebec. If singing in the car were illegal, there would be a lot of criminals running around."
How far would you go to please your favorite celebrity? The way police tell this story, when celebrity rapper Tyga wanted his very own tiger, he turned to the man known as Nick the Wrangler to illegally procure the big cat. The Wrangler, whose legal name is Nicholas Lee Bishop, is now sitting in jail on federal charges. He was involved in the illegal sale and transportation of Maverick, the Bengal tiger. Bishop, who is 27 years old, was arrested Thursday. Prosecutors say they want him to remain locked up until he goes to trial in California because he might flee from prosecution. Tyga is not facing any criminal charges. Seems as though Nick the Wrangler is the one being wrangled this time.
Police in Florida say they arrested a man who walked up behind a mounted officer and slapped his police horse in the butt. Orlando police said the officer was patrolling the city's downtown about 2:30 a.m. on Sunday when Casey Martin, 29, approached from the rear and spanked the police horse Izzy on the rump. The officer wrote his report of the incident that the horse was startled and spun around. The arrest report said that the officer attempted to make contact with Martin, who fled on foot. The mounted officer spoke to the patrol officer on foot when they spotted Martin walking nearby moments later, and the second officer arrested the suspect without incident. The man was booked on charges of injuring a police horse, resisting without violence, and possession of cocaine. He was jailed in lieu of $1,250 bail. No more horsing around for you, Casey.
That's a good one. I like that. This woman forgot her fanny pack and had put her belongings in her fanny instead. Police, knowing that her license was suspended, pulled over Heather Zachman in Stuart, Florida. When officers suspected Zachman of concealing something between her legs, she handed them a $1 bill with crack cocaine in it. But on her way to the slammer, Zachman started squirming as if on pins and needles, which is when officers asked her if she were hiding anything. Zachman allegedly fessed up to having both a rig, or a needle, and a pipe in her butt cheeks. There must be a better hiding spot than that.
That's all we have here for you today. Hope to catch you next week, and thanks for tuning in.
And thanks for staying foolish. Back to the desk.
From November 3rd through the 5th, be a part of Endicott's 3-day startup weekend. Learn over the course of a weekend how to launch your startup, get mentored, make a pitch, and possibly win a prize. You can apply through your Blue Buzz email.
On October 18th, Endicott sponsored an Ice Bucket Challenge on campus in support of ALS research. The event raised $2,000 and ECTV was there to capture all the action. Let's check it out.
Hi, this is Jenna here with Endicott TV, and I'm here in the Frady's Quad where the ALS Bucket Challenge is going to be taking place very soon. I'm here with some girls. Would you mind introducing yourself and saying why you want to participate?
Hi, I'm Kendra, and I want to participate because it's a good cause.
Hi, I'm Marianne, and ALS is just a really important issue, and I'm glad we're really celebrating and talking about it here.
Hi, I'm Ashlyn, and we're here for the crew team, and we all thought it was a good cause to participate in.
Hi, I'm Tess. Obviously, we're all on the crew team, and we're here to support ALS research, and it's for a good cause.
I'm Emmeline, and I'm here to just support research in ALS.
And I'm here with two boys here. Could you introduce yourself and say why you want to participate?
My name is Will Deesman. I'm participating because it's for a good cause.
My name's Tommy Comparato, and I'm participating because he's one of our own.
Girls, can you just introduce yourself and say why you want to participate in the challenge?
I'm Gabby McDonald, and I'm doing this for my high school principal, Jean Connolly.
Hi, I'm Natalie Always, and it's for a good cause.
Hi, I'm Rosemary Karanja, and I'm doing it to raise awareness.
stockbroker Leon Logothetis left his career to travel across the world and spread the notion of human kindness. He visited the Endicott campus to discuss his travels, and ECTV's own Matt Layton took some time to ask him some questions about his work. Matt?
So we're here with Leon Logothetis. Leon, welcome to Endicott. It's great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So you're giving a little presentation today about, your recent adventures. Just want to talk about your recent adventures. What was that like for you? Why did you decide to do it in the first place?
Sure. So I used to be a broker in the City of London, and I found myself kind of living someone else's life, very depressed, no real sense of purpose. And I saw the movie The Motorcycle Diaries, which is a romanticized version of Che Guevara traveling around South America relying on kindness. And there was something about that movie that really inspired me. So I quit my job and started to travel the world. I purchased a vintage yellow motorbike called Kindness One, sort of like Air Force One, but a little bit yellower. And I drove it all the way around Earth with no money, no food, no gas, no place to stay, relying on the kindness of strangers.
That's it?
That's all.
So, you said you got your inspiration from the book, but, most people won't do that nowadays. I mean, that took a lot of courage and guts to do it. I mean, what was your reaction at first saying, you just want to do it, but then when you got traveling through the world, what was it like?
Sure. I mean, I was inspired really to move by pain, because I was in such a bad way that I didn't want to sit behind that desk anymore, and I wanted to travel the world, and I wanted to see the world, and I wanted to meet the world, and I wanted to have adventures, and I wanted to connect with people. So what better way to do that than buy a yellow motorbike and go around the world? And I was very fortunate because Netflix picked up the show, and it's called The Kindness Diaries. And it was just something that was a very profound journey. I got to really meet so many interesting people.
Can you just talk about those people you met, the different countries you visited? What was it like seeing, the different side of the world?
Sure. So I ended up going to about 20 countries. And I was in America, Canada, Europe, Middle East, Asia. And I met all different types of people, and I realized that when you go out into the world, you realize that we're really not as different as we are made to believe, that we're the same. And when you realize that we're all the same, that we just want to be seen, we just want to be loved, we just want to be heard, then it's harder to look at someone and think, you're different from me and I'm not going to like you, because they're not. We're the same. Yeah, people are unique in certain situations, but ultimately we're just human beings having a shared experience. And that was one of the most profound things I learned from the journey.
What was the most interesting country you visited and the most interesting experience you had during that country's visit?
Sure. So I went to a country called Bhutan, which is northeast of India, and it has a thing called gross national happiness, where they determine the success of the country by the happiness of the people, which is a little bit different to the way we do it in the Western world. And I had I met all these great people who really came from their heart. I'm not saying everyone in Bhutan was lovely, because I don't meet everyone in Bhutan, but the people I met, they came from their hearts, and it was a beautiful thing.
That's awesome. Was there experience in Bhutan that, really made your eyes open saying, wow, this is fantastic?
Yeah, I think the greatest experience I had on the journey wasn't necessarily in Bhutan, it was in America. I was in Pittsburgh, and I ended up going up to a chap on the streets and asking him if I could stay in his house, because that's kind of what I would do. I'd ask people, I'd tell them my journey, then ask them that question. And he turns around to me and he says, look, I'm really sorry, but I'm homeless. So I felt some shame because I'm doing a social experiment. This chap is homeless, has nothing. I'm about to walk off, and he turns around and he says, would you like to stay with me tonight? I'll feed you, I'll protect you, and I'll give you some clothes. And it was just profound, because he taught me that kindness is free, and you don't have to have lots of money to be kind. You can be kind with nothing. And if he could be kind to me, then why can't I be kind to you? And if he can be kind to me, then why can't you be kind to others? It was just a really beautiful experience.
That's awesome. So you've done that. You're going around giving lectures about your experiences. Do you think you'll do something like this in the future again, or what's the next chapter?
Yeah, so I'm actually doing a next season where I'm going from Alaska to Argentina, relying on the kindness of strangers.
Wow. You excited for it? How are you preparing for that?
Yeah, I'm preparing for it by just trying to stay calm. That's the best way I prepare for it.
Yeah.
And you know, it'll all work itself out when we start the journey in Alaska and hopefully end in Argentina in one piece.
That's awesome. Well, Leon, I think on behalf of all the students here in Endicott, we wish you luck. Thank you for coming, and good luck in your next chapter.
And thank you for having me.
Awesome. Back to you guys.
That's all we have for this week, goals.
We'll see you next time.